Curious George discovers plants. Have you ever wondered where the fruits and vegetables in your grocery store come from? Most of them are grown on farms far away and come by truck, train, boat, or plane. Are you curious about how vegetables and other plants grow? George is curious too. George was enjoying market day. He liked the fresh vegetable section with its cucumbers, artichokes, beets, spinach, carrots, and onions, to name just a few. George wasn't sure where vegetables came from, but he sure loved to eat them. They had as many different tastes as shapes and colors. I was thinking about cooking vegetable soup tonight, George, said his friend, the man with the yellow hat. But then I started to think of Chef Pisghetti's famous fresh vegetable soup at his spinach ravioli. Maybe we should go to his restaurant, the man asked. What do you think? Yum, thought George. At Chef Pisghetti's restaurant, they sat at their favorite table and placed their order with Nettie, the chef's wife. We both like fresh vegetable soup with extra carrots and spinach ravioli, the man ordered. Wait, Chef Pisghetti cried as he emerged from the kitchen. I am out of fresh veggies. We have finished the carrots and spinach. George was worried. What would they have for dinner? Why don't you pick some more vegetables? Nettie asked. Would you like to come with me to pick the vegetables, Giorgio? The chef asked. George nodded and followed him. We're going up to the roof, the chef announced. George was confused. Didn't the vegetables come from a market? Some veggies grow on farms far away, then travel to a store where they sit around until you buy them, Chef explained. But my veggies grow here. The chef proudly waved his arm at all the boxes filled with dirt. I pick them and I take them down to my kitchen and they go into your belly all on the same day. That's Pisghetti's fresh. George was still confused. Where were the fresh vegetables? George watched in amazement as Chef Pisghetti grabbed a sprig of green and pulled a carrot out of the dirt. What's this? Chef Pisghetti pulled another green sprig out of the dirt. A weed. Weeds are bad. They soak up the water and nutrients from the soil that my veggies need to grow, the chef explained. If I don't have fresh veggies to cook, I may have to close my restaurant. George wouldn't want that to happen, but I don't have time to pull the weeds out after working all day, Chef Pisghetti added. George thought he could help Chef Pisghetti. The next morning, George took some gardening tools from the chef's roof and began to dig up the weeds. He dug up every green thing he saw. He packed all those leafy greens into 3 trash bags and threw the bags away. Later that day, the chef was not happy. Oh no, Chef Pisghetti exclaimed. The weeds are gone, but all of my veggies are gone too. George felt bad. He realized that he didn't know how to tell the difference between a weed and a vegetable. I will have to plant all new vegetables, the chef announced. The chef showed George tiny seeds that would grow into carrots. He dug small holes in the ground with his trowel. He placed a seed into the hole and replaced the dirt. I water and fertilize the seeds regularly. The chef saw George's puzzled look. Fertilize means to feed. We will have new vegetables in 2 to 3 months, chef said. I won't have fresh veggies to use for cooking until then. George was curious. Why did it take so long? Maybe it didn't have to. Maybe a little monkey could come to the rescue. George ran home and took all of the carrots he could find from the refrigerator. He ran back to the roof garden and began to dig a hole where the carrot seeds had been planted. George carefully placed one fully grown carrot in each hole that he dug. It took a long time, but finally George finished putting all of the carrots he had brought from home in the ground. He put the tools back where he found them. The next morning, Chef Pisghetti found a big surprise. My carrots grew this big overnight. It's amazing, the chef called out. When George arrived later in the day, Chef Pisghetti was still talking about the carrots. The chef scratched his head. I wonder why the eggplants and squash didn't grow. Oops, George had forgotten all about them. Tonight I will plant peas, Chef Pisghetti said. I hope it works again. He was so excited that he asked Dr. Wiseman, his scientist friend, to come and study the amazing dirt in this garden. At home, the man with the yellow hat discovered that all of the vegetables in the kitchen were missing. George, he called, do you know what happened to all our veggies? George nodded. He led his friend out of the house and over to Chef Pisghetti's. Then the man with the yellow hat finally understood what George had done. Well, it looks like George had been your amazing gardener, the man explained. He said, all our vegetables have been going into the dirt. Your dirt. Dr. Wiseman was glad that the mystery was solved. Everyone was happy. You can cook up our vegetables any day, said the man with the yellow hat. Everyone helped pick the vegetables, and Chef Pisghetti invited all of his friends to stay for a delicious lunch of vegetable soup. George's plan was a success after all. The end.